I'm speaking with Chris Sims today from the Canadian Taxpayers Federation out of Lethbridge. And Chris, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Well, I am on your bandwagon here with the gas tax. What is the Canadian Taxpayers Federation calling on the Alberta government to do?
Well, we want the Alberta government to suspend the provincial fuel tax at least for the summer driving season. So, lots of Albertans might remember back when Premier Danielle Smith did the right thing and she fully suspended the provincial fuel tax for a year. And so that saved us big time money because it's 13 cents per liter of both gasoline and diesel. And that's nothing to sneeze at. If you're filling up a minivan, that's saving you about $10. I can get a roast chicken for $10. That's serious money. Same thing with the light duty pickup truck. It's going to save you around $15 a fill up. And for folks, especially who want to take a road trip and anger Minister Mark Holland, take a road trip with their families this summer, it would be really nice if the Alberta government lived up to its low tax reputation and actually suspended our fuel tax. And it would also, I know you're located there, I know it would also help Saskatchewan families if they, pop across the border. They'd save money filling up.
Right. And actually, we've seen other provinces giving their residents a little bit of a break.
Yeah, exactly. This is really put into stark contrast when we take a look at NDP Premier Wab Kinew out of Manitoba fully suspending his even bigger fuel tax. So their fuel tax in Manitoba is 15 cents a liter. And initially he was only going to do it for a few months, but because it's been so popular and because he realizes affordability is still a major issue, he's promised to have it at least in place until the end of September. So that means that if you're fueling up in Alberta or Saskatchewan, if you head over to visit the grandparents in Manitoba, you're saving money if you wait to fill up there. And that really flies in the face of this low tax reputation we have.
Right, and you were mentioning that the promise to cut income taxes has not come to fruition yet here in Alberta.
Yeah, this is something that's bothering us a lot because the UCP government, when it was campaigning during the election, campaigned on tax cuts for all Albertans or lower taxes for all Albertans. They said both things. And what that was they were going to take the first $60,000 of your earnings and reduce that tax bracket from 10% down to 8%. That sounds wonky, but what it would actually do is save you close to $800 per person per year. You do that for a two-person working family, that's like around 15 or 1600 bucks. Now they've kicked that promise can way down the road. They're saying they're only going to get to this in 2026, and even then it's only going to be down to 9%. That's not what they promised or what they campaigned on. And so we're really kind of tapping our watch here, saying, where is it? Where are lower taxes?
A common refrain from provincial governments when things aren't quite going the way they promised is to blame the feds. Is there, federal liability here in this issue?
Oh, for sure. We have to give Premier Danielle Smith a lot of credit and Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe when it comes to standing up for Western Canada. And we fully support them when they do that. When we see Danielle Smith putting the boots to Prime Minister Trudeau over things like the carbon tax or attacking our energy sector, anything like that that's really getting up in Alberta's grill, we completely support her. Same goes for Premier Scott Moe. That was a bold move with him saying, you know what, I'm not collecting your carbon tax on home heating. Like, that was really good. And so this is where it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we really support you doing that. But it's one of those situations almost where if you see a friend screwing up, it's still up to you to tell them they're screwing up and saying, hey, you promised this, you said lower taxes, here's what you can do here close to home. And again, credit where it's due. Premier Smith suspended the fuel tax for an entire year. Like, that saved big time money. And she did so for affordability reasons. It wasn't because of some technicality based on the price of a barrel of oil, which is technically the legislation. No, she said out loud, this is for affordability. She saw that prices were too high for food, for fuel, for housing, all that stuff. Much of it caused by the federal government. And so she wanted to give provincial relief. So again, we're just reminding her that we would really like to see the same thing happen this summer because it would save people money this summer and right now.
That would be very nice to see. I do a lot of highway traveling. So thanks very much for joining me, Chris, and for shedding some insight on the tax issue that we're all facing. And going forward, I hope they listen.
I hope so too. You bet. Thanks for having us.